Hey, Rob here for Quadratec.com. Today I have Bob with me from G2 in. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thanks, Rob.
Of course.
Appreciate you having us over.
Of course. And you brought your Core 44 axle assembly for us today. We lugged it up and got it on top of the table here.
Yeah, this is a new housing that we developed for the Jeep application, primarily for the JK market.
Yep.
It addresses a lot of the weaknesses of the factory housing where we're experiencing a lot of bent housings from people running larger tires. You know, people are generally running 35-inch, 37-inch tall tires, and even larger nowadays. So we've seen a lot of problems with the factory housings where the tubes are bending, the CNs are deflecting, causing ball joints to have problems.
Right.
Even to the point of brackets breaking off and tubes actually breaking.
Right.
So we developed this housing to really address all those problems and make it strong enough to be able to handle a 40-inch tall tire.
Awesome. And you guys have this available in a ton of different combinations. You know, with gearing and axles installed, and then like we've got it sitting on the table here, just the basic housing, right?
Yeah, we have it set up so you can, for a Rubicon owner that's got problems with their stock housing or they're looking for something stronger, they can buy the bare housing, retrofit all their stock components like the axle shafts, the gears, the lockers.
Right.
Everything's designed to fit right into this housing. Or you can purchase it as a fully assembled unit for the customer that wants to upgrade their Dana 30 to a Dana 44 and get something stronger.
And I mean, something really cool about these things, you guys are building these right out in California.
Yeah, these are all made in the USA in our San Diego Chula Vista facility. You know, we're trying to keep as much manufacturing in the States as we can. That way we've got good quality control on a product like this and make sure that it's holding up to what people are putting them through these days.
That's awesome, yeah. So I guess we can kind of run through it a little bit. Like you said, you guys have beefed up the CNs on the axles here a little bit.
Yep, so basically what we did is we designed this entire housing based around the factory JK gear set, which is a hybrid gear set.
Right.
It's got the strength benefits of the Dana 60 with a larger pinion shaft and a ring gear diameter similar to a standard 44, just a little bit larger, so it's a very strong gear set. Close to a Dana 60 strength, but you're not losing any of the clearance associated with the Dana 60. So we designed the center casting by adding some additional gussets to prevent any gear deflection, to allow that gear to last even longer with all the punishment that people are putting them through.
Right.
From there, we've gone to 3-inch diameter tubes, 5/16 wall to really prevent any bending. It still allows a little bit of flex because the housing does need to flex under load, but it prevents permanent bending of the housing.
Right.
Moving out, we're going into the forged CNs, about twice about the amount of material compared to the factory CNs. Really prevents any kind of deflection that would cause the ball joints to prematurely wear out or fail. Really reinforces the entire housing and your alignment, allows the vehicle to track much better compared to the factory housing.
Right, definitely. And then you mentioned the center differential housing here is actually going to come pre-drilled with some mounting points and then pre-tapped for things like airlines for lockers.
Yeah, what we've done is we've added all the necessary ports for the factory locker. So the sensor that fits in there, where the wires come out, everything's set for the factory. So all the factory components can fit directly in.
Right.
We've also taken into account some of the aftermarket lockers like ARBs where airlines need to come through.
Right.
We've designed this housing to accept all that, so there's no additional modification that needs to be made to the factory housings.
No, that's great. So you can kind of get this, and you're not going ahead and starting to drill through it and make all these modifications right out of the gate. You're kind of set up to go.
And then for anyone that's doing any aftermarket suspension or custom suspension modifications, we've got some additional mounting points at the top that are pre-drilled and tapped. So if there's any bracketry that needs to be bolted on, you can just bolt it in. You don't have to weld onto the housing.
That's great.
Or build an additional truss to house it.
And then even just the base Core 44 does come with the aluminum diff cover on here as well, right?
Yes, it does come with a differential cover. It's an aluminum diff cover that's heat treated, so really it's designed to handle the punishment for off-road use, but at the same time it's helping cool the oil. What we've ran across is a lot of people are going to nodular or cast iron differential covers for the protection, but the problem is it causes the oil to break down. Bearings wear out sooner, gears start to wear out. So the aluminum cover helps cool that oil, but at the same hand it's protecting the gear set as well.
Right. That's awesome. And it's a great looking cover here. I mean, everything about the axle looks great, from the diff cover to even, to the G2 logo set in there, red. It just kind of sets you apart a little bit.
We've tried to add a lot of detail into the housing. You know, we've used, you know, with the JKs, we've got a fleet of vehicles that we use all the time, and we've on our own bent plenty of housing.
Right.
So, you know, that really what drove us to build this housing
Yeah.
as strong as we did, because we ran into a lot of issues on our own.
Awesome.
Same as most people run into.
And so even inside the housing here, if we go ahead and take the cover off real quick here. You guys have made some modifications to the inside there.
Yes.
From a stock axle would be as well.
You know, we've added some additional details. We have forged bearing caps. They're going to be much stronger than the factory setup. We've also integrated a adjuster nut system,
Right.
Where it makes it a lot easier to set up. You're not using carrier shims anymore. It's an adjuster nut system similarly found in like a Ford 9-inch setup.
Okay.
Makes it much easier on the installation time. We've also added additional features for the airline to fit right through the bearing cap, so you're not weakening the bearing cap to accommodate the airline to go through it. So
yeah, so you guys have kind of thought this thing all the way through.
we have, yeah. We've got enough experience building housings over the years, so we just want to make it as easy as possible to assemble it and put it together. So.
Awesome. And then like we mentioned, you can order this thing fully built with a range of different combinations, you know, different axle shafts, different gear sets and lockers.
Yeah, we've kind of thought it through. You know, we originally built the housing for the Rubicon models where it could be a direct replacement. We also built it so it could be an upgrade for anyone with a Dana 30 model.
Right.
So that way they can order it with whatever gear ratio they're looking for. We got different options as far as lockers are concerned. We offer it with the ARB air locker and the Auburn ECTED at this moment. We're also developing our own selectable locker that's going to be available later on this year.
Okay.
We can build it with 35 spline axle, so really bringing the strength up close to a Dana 60 as we can without the additional weight and loss of ground clearance.
So like you mentioned, you've already pre-drilled and tapped some mounting positions up here for some additional suspension components if some guys are doing some custom suspension work. But even if they've got a stock suspension on here, you guys have strengthened up all the stock brackets, right?
Yeah, the housing, as you see it, when you order it, it'll come with heavy-duty brackets. Most of them are made from 1/4-inch steel. The housing will come with ball joints already installed. These are metal-on-metal design ball joints, so we eliminate the nylon insert on them.
Yep, that typically has
the
some
lower
wear.
ball joints are greasable, you know, compared to the factory ones that are not. So a lot of added features. You know, with our track bar bracket, it's a heavy-duty track bar bracket, so you don't have to worry about it getting torn off.
Right, and you've got a couple mounting positions here.
Yeah, we got a couple of mounting positions. So if you do a steering relocation, you can use the upper mount for the track bar.
Right.
It's already built in. We got adjustments on the bottom control arm bracket, so you can use a cam bolt to be able to set your pinion angle as well. So a lot of added features.
Right, so you've got a lot of adjustment built in here so that you're not, again, like we said, you're not modifying this thing out of the gate. You guys have already kind of thought about it. We're not drilling through the nice finish on here and having to worry about anything like that.
We've tried to add in as much as we can, you know, tying it in with all the different brands of suspension to make sure that it works with basically what's available in aftermarket.
Exactly. And so, you know, if we had on the website right now and wanted to order just the Core 44 to upgrade our Rubicon that we have now, this is what you're going to get, like we have sitting on the table.
Exactly how you see it here. This is what will come in the crate. Ball joints included, diff cover included. So all you need to do is take your existing components. Probably replace the seals would be about the only good thing. But aside from that, everything else will fit right in.
Awesome. And like we mentioned earlier, you know, I think it's awesome that you guys you're making these right out in California. You know, you're keeping the tolerances really tight on it, and you're bringing a great product, you know, to the guy out there that can have a lot of confidence in, you know, bolting up a Core 44.
Well, thank you. Our goal is to have a very high quality product out on the market.
Definitely. Well, again, thanks for bringing it in today.
Thank you very much, Rob.
No problem. Taught us a lot about the great Core 44 axle assemblies. Of course, you can head over to Quadratec.com and check out the full lineup. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll always be the first to know about all the latest industry news, product reviews, how-to videos, and more.